Hi folks, so this gorgeous specimen is a 2012 Gibson SG Standard Limited. Now Limited is a bona fide part of this model's name. Most people don't really know what these are and just list them as SG Standards. These were only made for 2 years and have a couple of nice features on them in conjunction with limited edition finishes that separate them from the standard SG of the day. An obvious reason why this is a limited one is the gorgeous cream finish on this, very seldom seen on modern SG standards. Kind of became a thing during the Nolan era in the 70s. The other difference lies in the neck profile that they've used on this one, which is a 50s rounded profile. It's made a comeback today on the original collection SGs, but was very, very hard to find in 2012. Certainly this one still retains its USP that you can't get new SGs in cream, but with this one here's an opportunity to earn something different that will stand out from the crowd. It also comes with an upgraded OEM Gibson wiring harness, allowing for coil splits on the neck and bridge pickup. These are just standard CTS pots, all part of an original harness. So the stock pickups in this model would have been the Gibson 490R 490T, so that's rhythm and treble, ceramic humbucker set. Now these have been pretty much exclusively prevalent in the SG standard since what feels like the dawn of time, or at least since the dawn of the early 90s. What's in this particular guitar in terms of pickups, it's had an upgraded set of burst buckers put in. Now this is a pretty uncommon combination of a burst bucker 1, which is a low output PAF sort of reissue type pickup, and a burst bucker 3, which is a high output sort of PAF reissue pickup. They're 4-conductor, factory 4-conductor models, difficult to find now. You can't find them from Gibson, at least to my knowledge. It's just the standard 2-conductor sets, and they obviously work in conjunction with these push-pull knobs with the 4-conductor wiring. So up this end of the guitar it looks pretty standard fare to the untrained eye, but there's actually a neat little upgrade that was only available on 2012 SG standards, and to see that we have to flip the guitar over. So those of you that have seen a lot of Gibson SGs will be probably expecting to see Gibson Deluxe inscribed in the double line fashion on the back of these reissue style tuners. However, we can see what's actually inscribed is Gibson Deluxe. Now what these are original to the guitar, they're from the factory. These are actually made by Tone Pros and carry the Gibson branding. I think they are still available new today, but you have to import them and they're very difficult to get hold of. And these are actually an upgraded by Tone Pros take on your typical Gibson tuner, and they really are a much better tuner than what comes standard on Gibson models, i.e. that's to say the Gibson Deluxe. We can see the serial number dating it to 2012, which brings me on to the fretboard. Now this one has a rosewood fretboard, whereas most, if not the vast majority of these, you would find baked maple. The reason for that is in 2011 the US Department of Justice raided the Gibson premises and snatched pallet loads of rosewood that they claimed were illegally imported, and that would be something to do presumably with the whole CITES regulations, which was sort of a precursor to when a lot of guitar manufacturers stopped using it in 2016. Now as a result of that, Gibson actually started to use baked maple as a substitute wood on the fretboard of most of their production line instruments. However, one presumes that some rosewood was left, or they started sourcing some more and started using it in small quantities again, because this one has a genuine rosewood board. Now if I just zoom in, hopefully, I don't know whether you can see, that is not the hue of baked maple, and you can see with the naked eye that there's a lot of porous open grain, which is a hallmark of the rosewood that's used on modern Gibsons. Baked maple would be much flatter, much denser, without that porous open grain. So you're getting a genuine rosewood board. Now this particular guitar is in wonderful condition. The front is extremely clean, as is the back, and as is the neck. There's only a couple of talking points. With these being white, they do usually pick up a lot of marks and show a lot of marks, especially any marks that go through to the colour coat. And a lot of these that I see for sale have, you know, nitro burn in the clear coat, or they've got a ding that's showing up in the colour coat, and yeah, they're very unforgiving. This one is extremely clean. However, I must point out that we do have a very small mark by the selector switch there. There is some very, very limited lacquer checking in the nitro by the controls, common to see and shows up very easily because it's a white finish. That's all natural, as is everything on this guitar, but the face is extremely clean. Nothing really of any real note to point out other than that extremely small ding. The cutaways are extremely clean, no dings in either of the cutaways nor to any of the horns. The sides of the guitar, again, very clean indeed. Hopefully the camera will pick up the focus there. Very clean. Example. Just move around to the other side. Again, we can see a small, very small impression there, and another small one there, but again we're talking in the clear coat only. Very, very light. The bottom's nice and clean. The rear of the guitar, I cannot see any discernible buckle rash or anything like that to speak of at all. Really, the back is extremely clean. There's a tiny, tiny small mark there. Otherwise, very good indeed. The back of the guitar's neck is close to immaculate. Just a tiny impression, but again, I'm being extremely picky here. The guitar has also had a nitro touch-up on a small lacquer chip on the top of the headstock, as you can see there, but nicely touched in. Otherwise, the Q end of this headstock is borderline immaculate, if not immaculate. The frets on the guitar are also in lovely condition. Nothing really of note to warrant any closer inspection. And yeah, this guitar is for sale on Reverb, and the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching, much appreciated, and do all take care.